Energy Web Token. So this is the token that basically fuels an energy web chain. Now, their whole goal is to revamp and push development in in the energy sector. This potentially could have a good year. However, there's a lot that has to happen. I am going to go through sort of a couple of key things that have to happen for this to do really, really well in price. Otherwise, I can see a flat year ahead. Before I get into it, if you're new here, these are the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In the videos, I showed myself buying up these coins. And the reason is I expected they were going to make me very good money. If you'd have done the same, say popped $100 into them when I released the videos, you'd have gotten at these prices. You'd sat on them for 16 months, you could have sold them at these prices, and your profits from 100 into each in under a year and a half would have been over 123 grand. Now, we're already in a bull cycle, so you do not have a year and a half. And if your portfolio isn't sorted or full of trash, head over to copymycrypto.com, just have a look through the site. Everything on the site is public record, whether that is the successes we've had, the money that members have made. You can verify it all. Copymycrypto.com is where I share every coin that I'm in. Whenever I add to my portfolio with a new coin, I tell my members what coin I'm going to add and at what price. I also do the same thing when I sell, so my members get in and out of cryptos at the exact same price. Added bonus is they don't have to do any work at all. And if you go onto the site, like I said, you'll see the successes that we've had. Have a look through it, read it all, and maybe try out the service, because no doubt about it, it can help you out, especially if your portfolio is non-existent or full of rubbish. So have a read of the site now, guys. Pause this video. Now, let's talk Energy Web. So, as I said, the token fuels the Energy Web chain, which is designed to support the further development of the energy sector. It was launched in June of 2019, and it's launched by Energy Web Foundation, which is a non-profit enterprise. Now, Energy Web aims to switch up how the energy sector works, really. They're trying, they're allowing developers to create dApps. The virtual machine that they've got has the potential to benefit anyone in any area of energetics, whether it's grid operators, software developers, and vendors. As I said, the founders are the team of the Energy Web Foundation, like they're the ones behind the project, but it's a joint project between the Rocky Mountain Institute and Grid Singularity. Both are leading names in their fields. Rocky Mountain Institute is a leading name in research and development in the energy sector. Grid Singularity is blockchain expertise at its core. Now, there's some potential here, right? What I do want to talk about with regards to this is, look, energy is probably going to be a pretty big talking point this year. We've got multiple elections this year. The UK are having one in the next few days. America obviously got one. And the discussions around energy are going to be quite important. Like, as energy becomes a very, very heavy discussion point, if, actually, you can't say it's definitely going to, but if it does, we would see coins like Power Ledger and Energy Web Token get more attention. And, we've got multiple different energy-based cryptos that really need to be the only way that I can see significant growth for any of these is going to be based entirely on the external narrative around it. And that really is a tricky thing, because you can't just assume an external variable is going to happen. It might not. It could easily be that in America, energy isn't discussed at any point in the build up to this election. It might, it's probably going to be the cash in people's pockets. It's probably, it's probably going to be crime and everything else. It's very possible energy just simply isn't discussed. And if it isn't discussed, there's a big issue for coins like Power Ledger, coins like Energy Web Token. There needs to be a narrative that it brings them attention. They're not naturally going to get attention because it's not a sexy idea. It's not, it's like data. Data can be very dull. And the reality is that Energy Web are working with a lot of big names, whether it's Shell, Deloitte, T. This is an event that that's happening it's happened rather. But the partners that were there, massive beasts in the energy sector. And the idea of Energy Web Token revamping the way that a company like Shell works or a company like Deloitte works is incredible. And if that does happen, of course, and they get the acclaim and the credit that they would deserve, there's huge potential. But in the reality, there needs to be a huge external variable here because there's a couple of issues, right? Energy Web, if we look at the markets that it's on, it's not on Binance, it's not on Coinbase, and in reality, what are the chances it's going to get on there? Pretty slim with trading volume like that. Pretty slim. But if all of a sudden energy becomes a huge talking point, particularly in the American election, because just America has a bigger impact on the markets than the UK or anywhere else, and we start seeing a huge surge in trading volume, there's every possibility that this gets the bounce in volume and this gets the Binance listing. And if that happens, we know what happens with the Binance listing. It's like a 5x straight off the bat. And, that could be followed by a Coinbase listing or, goes the reverse. But that's what would need to happen. Because as of right now, energy sector doesn't really get much attention unless you're talking about like the G8 summits or whatever. So I'm kind of hesitant to say this is going to do much. I think best case scenario in this bull cycle is going to be around $10. However, if, and it's a massive if, but if energy becomes a huge talking point in the American election, if energy becomes a talking point in worldwide, they need either via renewables, a wider focus on renewable energy, or just sort of getting carbon neutral, then the volume will surge, the Binance listing can happen, the Coinbase listing could happen. Those things would all have to happen for the Energy Web to hit a new high. But I believe it would hit a new high if those things happened. And if all of that came into fruition, I think we could see Energy Web up to about $30. However, I think that it is highly improbable. And it's certainly not something you can depend on. The reality is if energy doesn't become any sort of talking point this year, coins like Energy Web, coins like Power Ledger will languish, and we will probably, best case scenario, only see it rise to maybe $10. And that's best case scenario. It would not shock me if it only got to around, $7 or $8 this year. It's going to be very, very important for that external narrative. You've got to remember how big narratives feed into a bull cycle. And if you haven't got a narrative, if you're not part of any narrative, you're probably going to languish in price. So yeah, my instinct right now is that unless we see a huge shift in discussion points in the elections, or a huge shift in debate in the elections, I don't see I don't see energy coins doing particularly well this year. But let's see. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Do you think it can do well in the spite of not being, energy not being discussed this year? Or do you think it's a guarantee? Where do you stand on this? Let me know in the comments down below. And guys, we're in a bull cycle. If you do not have your portfolio sorted, get on to copymycrypto.com. Have a look through the site. Read it all. Watch all the videos. On there, you will see the successes I've had, the successes my members have had. It's all public record, so you can verify it all. And guys, this year is going to be no different. We're in a bull cycle. We're going to make great profits. And if you want to make great profits, like I say, read through the site. Because if you do not get a portfolio sorted very, very soon, you're going to end up watching this bull cycle pass you by and leaving a ton of money on the table. No one wants that. So get on the site, read through it all, watch it all, and maybe try out the service, because no doubt it's going to help you guys out. And that is it from me. Have a good day. See you in the next vid. Bye-bye.